All right, day 4. You're gonna add one more tool to your cup. Today, we're gonna start using the wooden rib. Most of the time we would use this on the outside, but kind of like the step 4 or the shape 4 that we practiced yesterday, today we're gonna use this on shape 4 to help give us a nice, flat, smooth inside. So, here we go. Got my lumps all ready to go. Gonna find my target. Okay. Remember to sit close. Everybody yesterday, Monday, did a really good job with body positioning, but as long as you keep reminding yourself of that every day, sit close, sit close, sit close, you're gonna do fine. You wanna be sure that your kneecaps are in line with the center of the wheel head. That way, as you lean forward, you're not actually forcing yourself to use any muscle to work on centering or to work on any of the steps. You're using your body. Double check. Rest your fingers on it. All right. Now I'm going to drop the hole. I want to be sure everything's nice and wet. I'm going to brace at 6 o'clock with the left palm. Go down little by little by little by little. Ease my hands out of there. Stop the wheel. Grab my needle tool. Okay, remember, check the thickness from the center. Alright. It's a little on the thin side, but that's alright. That'll work for this. We just don't want to get it thin to the point where it's paper thin in the base. So now, I've checked the thickness in the floor, and I'm ready to take it from shape 3 into shape 4, or the so aptly named dog bowl shape. So I've got my wheel speed back up, bracing with the left. Instead of being at this angle with my right, I'm going to flip this over, bend at the big knuckle, drag, 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 little by little. Ease my hands out of there. Remember, you only have to open this up to that dog bowl shape large enough to fit 4 fingers in, or those 4 knuckles. Okay. Here comes the new tool. So, we're going to use the wooden rib. Like I said, most of the time we would use this on the outside to help clean and give us a nice exterior vertical edge, but we want to set ourselves up to have the flattest, smoothest possible floor on the interior of a cylinder as we can. That way, it's not just flat, but using this really helps to compress that raised or that upper surface on the floor. When you use it, the point, or this 90-degree angle, this corner right here, is going to sit towards 3 o'clock. The rounded portion is going to rest right here at the center. With my wheel spinning, I'm going to dip this in water first, holding it with both hands. You don't want to hold it completely vertical. You want it at a little bit of an angle so you can see what you're doing a little better. I'm going to start at the center, and remember, do this on the right side of the clay. I'm going to compress by pushing downward just a little bit, and then I'll run this back and forth. From center, not crossing over center, but going from center out to 3 o'clock. All right, most likely it's going to peel a little clay off of there. If it does, that's fine. Just scrape this off, toss it in your bucket. Now, grab your wire. Oh no, where's my wire? Where's my wire? There you are. Okay, so for this, I want you to do 3 of these as cross sections. Now this is a really vital step, so you need to be sure that we're maintaining that proper kind of pinky finger thick in the floor. Now, you saw in mine that it's a little on the thin side for this, but that's okay. Like I said, as long as it's not paper thin. So wire down about halfway. Seesaw this up. Ooh, there we go. Look at that. Nice and flat floor on there. Nice and flat. Okay. Let me cut this off. Show you again. Grab my next lump. Now with the pad that's here, I'm not going to add any water to it, and I'm not going to scrape it off, because this is going to be just the right amount of tack to get this to keep from slipping and sliding around. So I find the center on that, get her spinning, wet both hands in the clay, palms together. Okay, double check, be sure that it's absolutely centered. If it's got a little bit of a rock to it, just remember, left elbow in, left palm leans at 6. I'm going to make that hammer. Rest the two hands together and just lean and hold. Ease them off. Double check. Good. Clean it up at the root with the thumb. Now I'm ready to drop the hole. So brace. Ease my hands out of there. If it's full of water, try to sponge it out first before you check anything. Needle tool in. Good. Decent enough thickness. Now, I'm going to take, we've got our V shape in the center. I'm going to bend at the big knuckle, drag this open, ease my hands out of it. Remember, you only have to open it far enough to fit those 4 fingers in. Now, grab your wooden rib, dip in water. Don't forget to use this on the right hand side. Point goes towards 3 o'clock. Round portion sits right down here at the center. Little compression down. Run it left, run it right. And as you're running this across that floor, remember, don't cross over center. Once it's done, leave it just like it is. Grab your wire, run it under, halfway, saw that up, peel the front half off, and then double check. Hopefully we're close to a pinky finger thick in the floor. And when we're doing this, you want to maintain that decent amount of left-hand palm pressure on the outside wall. That way it helps to keep the outside fairly vertical. Okay, so you got to do 3 of these. Once you're done, this is step 4. Okay, leaning and hold. Drop the hole. Don't skip this part either. Stop. Check the thickness in the floor. Good. Speed back up. Keep that left palm minimal pressure, but you still want to be leaning against this outside wall. Bend at that knuckle. Drag this back very slowly. Remember, you're only going to where you can fit 4 fingers in. Wooden rib. Corner or curve towards the center, 90-degree angle, or that edge, that corner point towards 3. Run that back and forth, back and forth. Just remember not to cross over center when you're moving from 3 o'clock towards the center. Okay. So now we want to take it from this dog bowl shape on the inside to that cone. To do that, this will be the last step or the last shape where we use the same wheel speed that we've been using from the start. So I'm going to re-wet. Now my goal is to take and narrow the diameter from 4 fingers down to 3 or maybe even 2. So using both hands, nice and wet, I'm going to rest the outer palms against the bat, bring the palms together, and wherever the rim touches these fingers, the middle finger and the ring finger, I'm going to squeeze in, compressing little by little by little by little until I'm narrowing that diameter at the rim. So the diameter at the base is still going to be that 4 finger thick, but we want 3 to 2 for the rim. Once you narrow it, then take your sponge, clean it out, grab your wire. So this is that kind of cone shape that we're shooting for. But when I cut it in half, notice in the cross section how the thickness over here on the right side of the cross section wall and the thickness on the left side cross section wall are as identical as I can possibly get them. And the reason that it's like that is because I was able to keep it centered from start to finish. For some, that's not an issue. It hasn't been an issue yet. For others, you know, if we push ourselves off the lump of clay, or if we bump that lump, or if we're really not super hyper focused on what we're doing, then yes, it has the tendency to work itself out just a little bit from being centered. So today, Tuesday, whatever the date is, the 20th, 21st, let me see. The 20th, Tuesday, November 20th. I want you to start with 3 of that same exact shape 3, or not shape 3, 3 of the shape 4, where you're using the wooden rib to flatten the floor on that. After you cut through 3 of those, then I want you to try 3, and I don't expect you to get all 6 of these in one day, but I want you to shoot for as many of those 6 as you can. So 3 of this one here, kind of sort of ish. Oh wait, here's one that's not totally jacked. Now it is. So 3 of the dog bowl, nice and flat. Be sure you flatten it with that rib, and then 3 of them with this cone. 3 dog bowl, 3 with the cone. 3 dog bowl, 3 with the cone. Remember, they're shapes 4 and 5. So when I'm back on Monday, we're going to start right at 5, because shape 5 is the shape that we start with once we begin pulling walls. And we're going to start pulling walls on Monday. All right, have at it.